Come around tonight. Da, 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 da. Hey Oku, how are you? Sup. Okay, let me check. Okay, I think the audio is fine. Da 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 da. Hey Margie, how are you? 1 2 1 2. How are you doing? Okay, let's get going right away. Don't want to waste much time. Let's get drawing here. You're just checking out random art streams. That's nice. I'm pretty okay, I would say. Busy week, but it's the Friday night stream time for me. So I'm just waiting for people coming in on YouTube and maybe also here on Twitch. So it's nice that also somebody came in on Twitch. And I'm gonna drawing probably horses today. So I'm into study mode right now. How about you? How was your week? Unproductive this week. I guess I did art fight last week and I just decided to not do anything after that. I don't really do art studies, but I probably should. Yeah, it's also summertime, to be fair to yourself. I'm a teacher, so I teach people online all over the world, and I know every time when summer comes, then there's this drop of, yeah, just like no interest in doing like studies inside, you know, everything gets hot and like you sweat and you don't feel like drawing and studying. That's completely normal. So I think it's always important to see the full spectrum of the year, to not be so harsh on yourself, you know. So I'm doing it because like my problem is that I get kind of how you say, I kind of get I don't want to say depressive, but because I feel like depressive is such a hard word and I don't want to throw it around lightly because I feel like people do that too much these days. But I want to say like if I don't draw, like I feel mentally not well as I could. 1 second. Hey Brudi, jetzt bin ich gerade am Stream. Ich habe gerade einen Stream angemacht.
Okay, sorry.
Alles gut. Dann wir können nachher nochmal in Ruhe quatschen.
Alright. Spaß.
Küss dein Herz, bis dann. Tschüss. Ja, okay. Yeah, sometimes it's just starting with building a habit again. You know, it's so easy to change habits unconsciously, in my opinion. So it's also this thing with motivation, right? Like you can be as motivated as you want, but if you don't have a mechanism to get going, to start with something, then you won't get anything done. So sometimes the toughest part is really just start building a habit and a routine. And the great thing about humans is that we have this memorization of habits, right? So for example, if you wake up very early one day and on the next day you don't want to wake up at the same time, but you subconsciously probably will because you already programmed for that time. So it's pretty amazing if you ask me. I'm also kind of worried about burnout if I overdo it. Say if I want to do art as a career, how much should I draw in a week to keep in as a habit while also avoiding burnout? Hey Lil Pro, welcome to stream, how are you? So I think that burnout in a matter of time where you try to become, let's say you want to go for this normal 5 years, 3 to 5 years of building up a proper body of work to become solid enough in your portfolio, solid enough to send out applications to get jobs, etc., and also to build up a skill set that reflects your skill. I think you shouldn't worry about burnout if you have a way of doing some proper breaks in between and having a healthy relationship to going outside, being active, not spending all time. And especially the problem is why so many people suffer with burnout in a way. It's just exhaustion. It's not really a burnout in most cases. Unless we talk really about a burnout which is related to work, right? Just as an example, like if you really burned out because of too much work, like let's say you work 100 hours per week for years, the first thing that's going to happen is your body is shutting down. So you get sick, you will injure yourself. Usually people get back problems actually because they're overworked, even if they just do jobs in a seating position. So that's kind of like first symptoms that you're going to have. I was grinding my time, and I know that everybody's different. Not everybody can do the same amount of hours, which is also fine. But I think I would say you shouldn't worry about burnout when it comes to an art career in total, right? The important part is that if you treat it as a job where you say like, okay, 30 to 40 hours a week gonna be the focus on my work and on the progression towards my goal, then you won't have a problem. If you have a job as well, you have to just take hours away. So let's say you do 20/20, right? You have a part-time job, you do 20 hours a week, 20 hours a week of a part-time job, 20 hours part of focusing on your portfolio work. So then you still in a range of a normal job, right? So we're talking about Monday to Friday, and you have 2 rest days, which could be Saturday and Sunday. And there you still don't need to worry about burnout. The problem is that often people don't really rest. So they think when they're at home and watching TV, watching Netflix, or playing video games, they rest, but they don't. Everything is also taking their attention away. It has really to do with calming down and really doing the opposite of things. That's why I think that if you don't have that problem, you shouldn't worry about that. Because art is, of course, eye taxing, a bit brain taxing. Design is very brain taxing because you have to think, you have to be more analytical and so on and so on. But it's no hard labor work in a way, you know? So, hey Lil, sorry, yeah. Hey TG, how are you doing? Hey Munasaf? Munasavan? How are you doing? Yeah. And other question was, how much should I draw in a week to keep it as a habit to avoid? Yeah, I think a good average is 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week for focused progression work. That's important. 20 hours a week. At least. But also, like, it's not a problem if you have a week where you just do 10 hours, for example, right? The world is not ending. The important part is that you continue, because this stuff takes time. And also, it's always the misconception of, let's say, let's project the future and saying like, okay, how about you're grinding your way through 4 or 5 years, right? And then you land your first job. And let's say for whatever reason, company's closing. And that's happened often in the entertainment industry, all the time, every time. They let go people because that's part of this job. This is part of this job and this infrastructure of that job field. It's like the layoffs are so normal in this field because there's a lot of money involved, very fast going from left to right. So let's say you have a job for 6 months and then you're back and then you're out there and then you try to get in again. So it's never really ending. So the important part is that I think is always to focus on a solid base of skill set, but also not neglecting continuation progression. And I also, by fact, I know some people I work together with who decided to go into a lead position because they didn't want to have the hassle of working on their skill anymore. You know, so they didn't want to continue working all the time on his skill, which is also kind of like an overstatement, because I think if you're not really fallen on your head, you don't have to grind off yourself the whole time if you have a full-time job, so to speak. So yeah, I hope I didn't over answer your question. How long have you been drawing? I started drawing in 2013 when I was 23. So 13 years ago. And I'm still learning. I'm still not good enough. How about you? I started 4 months ago. Awesome. Oh, that's so nice. Like the first 12 month or 24 month, I would say, it's kind of like honeymoon phase of drawing. There's so much to learn, and everything you learn new excites you more about trying new stuff. Is it okay to use comic references to learn perspective? Absolutely, yeah. I think that comic book artists are one of the greatest image maker out there, because just if you consider how many frames they have to produce every day, how many times they have to think about camera angle, viewpoints, and so on. I think there's a lot to learn, especially when it comes to simplification, also solving things in your own way. I think comic book artists are a great way to start learning. Nevertheless, I would not neglect stuff like learning to manipulate a viewer, selling them, okay, what I show you here is 3-dimensional on a 2D plane, right? So this communication of 3-dimensionality, how to draw an object symmetrically in perspective while considering the backside, if you go from a center line, for example. Like there's a lot of things that are really important that you need to practice separately, but hand in hand, it's a good way to go. 5 months ago, I consistently practiced. I can draw boxes, humans, perspective box, most angles. Awesome, that's amazing. No worries, I really appreciate it. I guess my worry about comes from one of the streamers I watch who got burnout from art. So a few months they stopped streaming art. She also does convention stuff. There are probably other parts of doing drawing. Yeah, you know, that's a very good point, mentioning also stuff like conventions. Conventions are super draining and exhausting. I never attended any convention, but just the thought of I have to prep XYZ amount of images that I have to make, print, then also go there, present, and also be there presenting and also selling them in a way, because it's the job, right? So it's such a high stress. I bet you that this person is not only burned out because of making the art, but also everything that comes together. So it totally makes sense. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, big man, how are you? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the video. I've been making 1-page comics for 2 weeks. Some days I'm super interested, and others feel like suck. That's great. That's actually really nice. Hey Hitesh, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Hey HMZ, how are you? Sup, my friend. How was your week? Hey Draftsman. Hi, I really like your videos and art. I've been drawing for 20 years, but I wasn't very consistent. So when I started drawing again, my skill level wasn't very high. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, but you started. That's the only important thing, right? That you started again and that you're back on it. Having fun, continuing. How amazing is that? And also maybe being an empty glass again, right? Being empty. Open your mind. Be formless. Do you thumbnail these drawings before? No. I do thumbnail, but not this one right now. Now I just want to have fun, but like sometimes I do like messy stuff like this. Absolutely. Thumbnails are an important part. This is just for fun, just for stream, just for relaxation, talking to you guys, and just, I don't know, it's just chilling in a way. If mistakes happen, I don't care. Because my problem is I need to be relaxed to make proper stuff. So, and streaming is always a little bit stressy, even though, even though I stream for a few years now, on off, it's still like knowing that there's somebody watching and I don't know, then it's different. It's a mind thing, if that makes sense. I was drawing standing today, and my neck and my back would hurt so much. This stuff is so exhausting. I still can't believe how people do that for so many hours. Oh, hey, sorry, I just say big bye. Hey, big bye. Thank you for the sub, appreciate it. Very much appreciated. Hey, Manifest Destiny, how are you? Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, I bought Red Redemption 2, I think. I should play it again every time I see every time I see the TikToks where people are doing like funny stuff in the game. I just played the intro and never really started playing it. Is that Arthur Morgan? No, it's just random cowboy. I recently start studying horses, and yeah. And today I wanted to do people on horses as my continuous subject. So I'm abusing the stream for studying. What are you guys drawing? Guys and girls? How do you manage to draw that angle from a horse? All the things struggling at drawing a dog. First of all, dogs are really hard, actually. Did you know that some cultures call horses big dogs? So they have like specific name for that. Interesting side fact here. By the way, I drew horses yesterday for 4 hours, and I already drew horses today for another 2. So, and I also drew horses from imagination yesterday evening, and that really helped to just take all the knowledge from the study to bring that back again. And then I realized, okay, horses are actually easier than dogs, if you ask me. Like, because also dogs with the face and the length and all that. For my dogs always look like Ewoks from Star Wars. We have yearly event here in Calgary called Stampede. The entire theme is Western Cowboys. It's celebrated for 2 weeks and is the largest outdoor show. How timely, lol. That's funny. Oh, nice. That's amazing. Yeah, horses are so incredible creatures. Incredible, really incredible. Like whenever, I also feel like for me horses are pure energy. They're pure energy. When I drew them yesterday, I just realized it again. Like the gesture of a horse moving is insane. Like they're just so much power and so much like energy the whole time. And then I also have kind of like this complex, boxy, but also a little bit of round body form. It's yeah. Hey Ransford, how are you? Thank you. Hey Enemy Infinity, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm good, thank you. I'm happy it's not too warm today. Today I've seen some illustrations of yours, which was actually beautiful and eye-catching, especially horse. An illustration? Oh, okay, cool. I have maybe the stuff I've done yesterday with ink. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still learning in the trenches every day. Like every time I see my friends, the stuff they produce, I'm like, they're all so good. It's I have to level up. I always feel it's not enough. It's not enough, which is kind of good because I don't want this to stop, but I don't know. I don't feel accomplished as an artist, if that makes any sense. Artistically. Because if you work as a concept artist in games, you provide a service. Somebody comes and says like, hey, we have this game. There's this character, can you make this character? There's this environment, can you make this environment? That feels more like I don't know, like you deliver something, you know? It's less artistic, but when you, and that's what I've learned the past 2 years, when you do your own art stuff in your artistic space by yourself, then it's different because whatever you produce is you. A nice horse is amazing. You learn from a book? No, just by drawing from photos. That's mostly it. Just looking at the photos and thinking of what I see makes sense, really trying to understand it. And also remembering the time I rode a horse myself. That was also a great experience. Because like when you sit on a horse and you can like feel the body between your legs, that sounds so wrong, but it's really how it is, because you kind of control the horse with the pressure you do with your legs. And I had like a very young horse with a lot of power. And then when it's going, like you have to hold it also. I think it's also helping to kind of like get a feeling also for size proportion and everything. To become excellent in art, can you tell us... Wait, okay. To become excellent in art, can you tell us 5 things always keep to do, and especially what you learned from entire journey in art till now? And 1 life-changing advice as an artist as well. Okay, okay, 5 things. So first of all, thank you all always for the questions, by the way. I never say thank you for the people who are asking questions here, because you guys make my content. I always use these questions for my reels, for my YouTube. So without you folks asking questions, I wouldn't be able to make content. So first of all, thank you. I just want to say that. 5 things always keep to do, especially when you learn in your art journey. Okay. Okay. So find a good balance of studying and making your own work. This is very, very important. I made a mistake, and you can learn from my mistake. I made the mistake of just studying the first few years, focusing only. And that was okay, because it kind of like kept myself entertained. But when I had to do my own work, so my own portfolio work to get a job, I had always problems, because I had to figure out what I want to do. And then also when you do your own work, you have to find a way to finish it, right? So you're your own art director, your own creative director. You have to decide what is the style, what is the look, what is the outcome. You're also your own producer, right? So you have to be so many multiple people at the same time when you produce. So that's why I'm saying, for the longevity of your art journey, wherever that goes, always find a balance of studying, being curious, but also being experimental to a certain degree, trying things, do not be afraid of mistakes, and just pushing. That is very important. Yeah, okay, other thing I also said, don't be afraid about making mistakes. Mistakes are your friends. They are showing you what you can do, which is great, because this is how you get better. Another thing is, I'm actually going to steal from Sid Mead. Sid Mead once said that satisfaction is the death of every artist, curiosity. So if you try not to be too satisfied with yourself, like you can do the shoulder tap from here and there, that is fine. You should acknowledge also when you spend a lot of time doing something, also good. But you should not get too comfortable with the things you do, right? There's a time for acknowledging, and there's a time for, okay, what can I do better? Then also, when you have the habit of looking at people's work that you admire, do it, but have a healthy distance to it. Because you can run into the problem of copying or trying to really mimicking their work. And part of it helps you to see what you like, but it can be very dangerous because you can push yourself too much into a corner in terms of like artistic outcome. That is also very, very important to not to do, because I've done that many, many times. And every time I look at something like Mobius, Kim Young-ji, and I don't know, any other artist that I admire, that it always has an effect on the stuff I do, the way I do it. And I think, again, that it's like a super fine line. So just look for problem-solving aspects. So let's say you want to do an illustration with a creature, character, something dynamic. Look for how another artist solved the problem, but do not copy what they've done as a solution. Just look how they approached it. That was 4, right? So 5. 5 things for your art. When you have the feeling that you don't want to draw, when you don't want to paint, the reason is not that you're a bad person, that you're lazy, that you're whatever. The reason is probably exhaustion. You're just exhausted, okay? Accept the fact that you're exhausted. Go rest, go sleep, do something else. It always comes back. Once a creative, always a creative. The urge of being an artist and making work is inside of you, and it will not go away. It will maybe project into something else, music or whatever, but don't be afraid of like getting punished, you know? I think you should have a healthy relationship with being creative and making art. One life-changing advice for artists. What is life-changing? Life-changing advice for artists. Just no, that's not life-changing. Life-changing. I think if you really want to make a career making art, whatever it is, if it's working in a studio, if it's freelancing, if it's service-based, if it's classical art, if it's painting, whatever, there are so many possibilities these days. And there will be more in the future, which we don't even know yet. I think the important part is, how can you build a system around the art that you produce? Ask yourself, how can I get ownership of my art, right? So how are the things important for me? How can I make these things? How can I make things different, right? Try not to follow trends too much. How can I maybe maintain also my routine that I can produce my art, but also make money with it? And then just follow your inner feeling, right? Try not to follow any like trends and stuff in that case. I hope I answered all the questions. Sir, you're using a reference for this one, or are you drawing from ahead? A reference. Any advice how to get streaming with little time? I'm very lucky to have 4 hours of drawing per week. I hope to stream so I can hopefully grow following and keep track of my progress. Yeah, do that. Just continue. Just start streaming. And I mean, I'm not a big streamer guy, right? So I wouldn't say like, okay, I'm the big person to ask when it comes to streaming. I think important is that you should know what is it that you want to do for streaming, the reason why you stream, so to speak, right? So are you streaming for entertaining? Then, okay, how can you be entertaining, right? And why do you want to stream? Like, don't stream for fame or acknowledgement or whatever, right? Because streaming is really hard. And to be honest, I don't think that I want to be a streamer, because streamers have to stream every day. And it feels for me a little bit like a cage, to be honest. Even though they, like, I mean, even if people play games all day, right? It's great, but do you think how exhausting it is to play League of Legends or all these games for 10 hours every day, and they have to consistently do that, and then they're afraid and anxious about losing viewership? I rather not be a full-time streamer. I rather produce videos here and there and have something else to offer. You know, so that's also, always ask yourself what it is that you can offer. How do you stay motivated and keep fighting when everything in life seems going too bad with no recovery option? Hey Fatih, was geht, mein Bruder? Just do it. Don't ask too many questions to yourself. You know, my friend, just do it. Sometimes it's good to not think. Just as like, I have days where I don't want to draw, and I have moments where I don't want to draw, where the one stuff that I just drew was great and I liked it, and I get a coffee, I come back and I hate it and I don't want to draw, I play World of Warcraft or something, you know. So it can switch in a moment, because we as human beings, we are fragile and we are often moved by our own emotions. Like, you can get tired very fast, right? The moment you get tired, you prioritize sleep and recovery automatically, right? This is why social media, doom scrolling, all that stuff is so dangerous, because it's right to our hand. It gives us dopamine, right? And it tricks us in like, hey, we're doing something good, something fun, but we're not, right? So that's why it's so dangerous. Yeah, that's true. She's not here today. Maybe she comes in. But she has other things taking care right now. I noted everything. What advice you gave. Thanks, brother. Stay healthy and keep growing. God bless. Back to you, my friend. Back to you. By the way, what's your favorite anime? I deleted a lot of my social media apps. Yeah, that's good. You're also quite some dancer, my friend. They used to call me Fatih Jackson. Pinsen. Fatih Jackson, did you play more World of Warcraft? Kind of got bored and went straight into game developer. I think more of a creator instead of a consumer. That's good. Due to streaming, I'm slowly becoming an artist, priest, therapist, podcast, DJ, motivational speaker. Yeah, the priest thing is kind of like still going. DJ, yeah, well, not doing a good job of that. That would be quite insane, actually. I knew a guy who would do that if he still could. I bet if you would have sent Kim Young-ji into space, he would have done that. 100%. Party, was hast du denn Leckeres gekocht für deine Mutti? Hey Ukureta. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the stream. Do all four-legged animals walk the same? No, I don't think so. Do they all have the same type of shoulder blades? For example, turtles. They have 4 legs, right? I think they not walk the same as a cat. Nudeln mit Tomatensauce, Gemüse, Käse überbacken. Ich glaube, alles, was mit Käse überbacken ist, ist geil. Kann man nichts falsch machen. Hey George, how are you? Hey, watch it happen real. Are you from Germany? How do you think that? Yes, I am. Where are you from? Hey Jean. Few questions I wanted to see if you could help me. One, which fine liner brand do you use? I'm using right now a Unipin. This one here. Is it focusing? This one here. I bought the Rotring Tricky Z.5, wanted to check, want a professional to use. So when it comes to fine liners, I have my personal preference for a reason, which is the feeling of the tip when you press it on the paper. For me, I need something that has a good continuous ink flow, so it doesn't feel like you have to drag out the ink, right? So the ink has to come out. And also it needs to feel soft. So for example, I know a lot of people love Micron pens. But Micron pens, when I tried them for the first time, they're very hard on the tip. So if you, for example, would use a high-tech Pilot G pen or or C pen, they feel a bit soft. But actually, the softest pens are these Unipens and the Staedtler pens. The Staedtler pens are really nice. I definitely recommend those. Unless you have like a 100 kilo hand and it's so heavy and it's dragging down, it doesn't make any difference for you. I'm from Czech Republic. We're neighbors. Nice. So you're not far away from here. How's the weather in are you in Prague or where are you? You're welcome, George. This softbox here, right next to me, this thing here is always making my eyes so tired. Even though I don't look into it. Prague, nice, weather's good. But a week ago it was insane. In terms of heat or in terms of rain? Because we had a lot of rain actually. It's gonna be so heiß tomorrow. I ordered a chicken with salad and pommes. I'm gonna tape some Rettungsdecke on some of my window. Bro, you know that I just realized how good your English is when I found another spelling thing in our last video. So I gonna triple check for the next video, because every time now we have spelling problems. Otherwise I have to fund an English class for you, my friend. Ja, ist jetzt nicht so schlimm. Ich habe nur das Video nochmal geguckt und habe dann gesehen, dass da nochmal irgendwie... Da war dann schon wieder noch ein Spelling-Mistake drin. Sorry, Anush, for spamming that. Just wondering if you could tell us use the camera to record. Is it a good pix as well as taking references? The camera I'm using is a Sony Alpha 7. I used it for photos here and there, so it's definitely overly great for photos, I would say. But it depends on the objective you put on, the lens, so to speak. So the lens is really important whenever you do that. But yeah, it's a Sony Alpha 7. Hey, Aya Zoski. Welcome to the stream. How are you? We need to distinguish the path of pursuing the marketing of your channel. Ultimately, one way to crystallize traffic on your channel is by inviting Ich halt die Fresse. Oh my god, I read it! Motherfucker! Oh, ich bin voll drauf reingefallen. Hey, Aya Best Dopio. Thank you for the sub. Zero 0.05. 0.4. And there's Zuckeros. 0.3. Ist okay, ich liebe dich trotzdem, Habibi. Die Musik ist keine zum Fall Asleeping. Where is this tab? Oh mein Gott, ist schon wieder derselbe Song. Ich flipp aus. Doch Shuffle an. Ich verarschen. Nee, danke. Nicht heute. What is a project or a thing that you're most proud of? I think I don't have anything like this. Because I do not attach myself too much to things I've done. So, I mean, there are some pieces, some key pieces where I had plateaus that I overstepped. So when I leveled up, so to speak. So if you go on my Instagram, there is like one very important piece for me, which is the this underwater zombie thing. There was a moment where I learned really a lot, but I also had a lot of epiphanies in the process. Then I would say also my samurai piece, because I made like this samurai piece with brush pen only, without a underdrawing, and I died many deaths while I was doing this. A lot of like blood and sweat, because every stroke can be your last in a way. But it also made me realize that I have like this but we have to. Sorry, I just lost my thought because I just read what 2D Last Lamb was writing. We have to talk mini comics. But yeah, my samurai piece. It made me understand that I really have this love for traditional work, and then I want to make more of a switch into more traditional work. So I think that's why it's very important for me. What do you mean with we have to talk mini comics, lol? What does that mean? What are you saying? The one where the guys, what do you want to talk about it? What do you want to know? You're welcome. You're welcome. How about you? Do you have something what you're proud on? I also want to say that I don't try not to take myself any serious in that sense. Maybe it's also a bad thing, I don't know. You guys can share your opinion on it, but like, I don't know, like I met a few artists here and there who had like a lot of attitude and like they thought so much of themselves, when I realized like I never want to be like them. I never want to over-identify myself with the stuff I'm producing because they're like so douchey. The stuff is so douchey. So like I'm like, calm the fuck down. You're just drawing, man. Like you're not curing cancer or something. A portrait of your family, nice. That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's also a great memory, right? To enjoy, I wonder why we don't listen to them so often. Yeah. Enjoying is the most important part. Enjoy what you do and just keep at it. Janusz, have you ever thought of doing your own comics? I have thought about it, yes. But I don't know. Maybe I've been weird, but I respect the task of making a comic too much, I think. Hey, the fun, the great, the weird. Welcome to stream. How are you? Yeah, but I've thought about it, but I have so much respect of what it means to make a comic. And also I think I need a catalyst for it, you know? I need something that makes me do it in a way. Maybe I need somebody who comes like, hey, you know what, here's money, make me a comic. Or maybe like a writer who says like, hey, you know what, I have this story and I really want you, I don't want anyone else, I want you to make the story for me. Then maybe, yeah, I don't know. I do have an idea for my own stories, but I don't know if it's the way I'm working and doing all the other stuff. I never really come to an end, you know. I would love to read those. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. But maybe I'm a shitty writer. You don't know. Maybe I kind of draw okay, but the writing is shit. You're like, oh man, that's the worst. I wish he never would made a comic. I would definitely do a story that involves... What would it involve? Probably affection, love, a bit of craziness. Maybe also some sort of like human problems in a way. Sentimental questions. I don't know. You're laughing, but I'm dead serious. You don't know. You don't know. You know, like you read it and you're like, this is horse shit. That's the worst. Take the pen away from this guy. He doesn't deserve to write stories. What is this? Finally someone drew a good horse. One doesn't want to make me dig my own grave. Wow, that sounds traumatizing. That sounds traumatizing. Maybe a story of love in the middle of the Second World War. A Second World War? You know I'm German, right? So maybe, I don't know. You know that they make us go through Second World War in school so many times. It's like it almost comes out of your ears. It's like whenever we like start history class, then and the teacher says like, okay, subject of this year gonna be, guess what? I mean, it was an important event though, but still. The more I draw, the further the piece of paper goes. And I have to turn this again. Is that better? Come on, Mr. Softbox. But I think it's a good topic with all the difference in the world going right now. A lot of rage, immigrants everywhere, perhaps a love story between two nations. Maybe it sounds like you should do a story. Sounds like you should do a story. Not sure why I cranked this horse so much in this corner here. A little bit miscalculated the space, but Hey Tornado Master, are you drawing with reference? Yes. Reference are good. Oh, what do you mean? Thank you so much. Do you make comics? Nope, I do not make comics at the moment. Do you make comics? Do you want to make comics? What comics do you like? Can you recommend some comics? So weird that I'm so far away from this page. Wait, maybe let me just zoom this out so I can be more. I feel like I'm saying like always like this, but I'm not over the page, so I can like misjudge proportions. That's better. What are you, bro? What? I don't get the question. And hey Mufasa, welcome to stream. How are you doing? I love make comics and manga. Now I'm making animation. I really love it. I don't know which one do I choose. Well, I understand, yeah. And also two different type of fields, right? So it's a valid question. I guess time will tell. What do you do professional? I'm a concept artist. I worked in games and movies for, when did I start? 2018. 2018, so 8 years ago, I had my first professional job in movies, my first job. I did backgrounds, I did any production work from concepting to final illustration, marketing art. Then I worked in games, character design, environment design, prop design, the whole spectrum. I think bro do E. I don't understand what you mean, bro. What do you mean with bro do E? Do you mean with an ease? Are you trolling me? It's okay. You can troll me. I bought some new ink, which we can try actually. I don't know why I get tired, sorry. But I also didn't sleep that well for this whole week. Where are you from? I'm from Germany. Where are you from? Which was the first movie that you participated? The first movie I participated, I think the name was Ellie, and it was an animation movie about a ghost. And I had to do the matte paintings of the background. So it was literally a sky, like a blue night sky, and I had to paint a lot of clouds. And I also had to do some building design for it. Just draw a lot, Mufasa. Draw a lot. And then draw even more. And then more. Can you do that for me, Mufasa? Drawing a lot. Please. How did you end up in that movie? I had to do an art test. I can give you the short story. So I finished my study. I studied industrial design in college. And while I was in my last year at college, I had a job in a firm who would work in advertising. And my goal was actually just to stay in there and work for that firm. But because they paid me a student salary back then. And then when it was time to switch to get paid normal, like a normal person, they of course had to second guess if they would really need me, and to be fair, they didn't really need me, so they let me go, and I didn't have a job. So I was working a part-time job to pay my rent. I think the job would pay like $800 or something. And I would do that, and I was like very frustrated because I knew that I have the skills and I was meant to do another profession, which was the stuff I've learned. So I just started applying everywhere, and I was kind of like applying nonstop all around. And then I had an opportunity over my brother in the studio he was working in the south of Germany. But I had to make an art test. So it's basically they test if you can really do the work they want you to do. And I've done the test. Test was fine, and then they shipped me in, so to speak. So they pay accommodation, they pay you, and all that. Definitely one of the best experiences ever. Great studio, great people, lovely people, very fun to work with. Learned a lot and was a good start for my career. So did you accomplish what you really wanted to do? It's an interesting question. Because when I started my concept art journey, I always wanted to work at Weta in New Zealand, because I loved Lord of the Rings. But back then I didn't really know what it meant to work on a production like that. So one of my goals was to work in games. I've done that. One of my goals was to work in movies. I've done that. Also to work in animation. I've done that. And then I kind of felt like, okay, everything is kind of like very similar to each other. It's all kind of like very similar. Depending on production, can be more stress, less stress. So I would say my motivation to go to different studios, to have kind of like this checklist of I worked for them, kind of like went away, to be honest. I don't know if it's because I realize it's all kind of like the same and it doesn't really mean something for me to do that work. So I had kind of like a bucket list of stuff I wanted to do, but I didn't done that. I don't know if I got carried away through my YouTube channel, because that became very important for me. Like when I started the YouTube channel, because I could feel like I can actually do something. I can teach people. I can change also their journey by helping them. That's how I became a teacher. So but I don't know. I think the things I want to accomplish, they always change. And by the way, thank you for the question. It's a really good question. But I think the stuff I want to accomplish, they always change. It's kind of like all 4 or 5 years, stars are aligning differently. And I don't feel really accomplished as an artist. If that's, yeah, to be honest, I don't feel really accomplished as an artist. I feel like I was just one giant machine cog in a big industry, working, living, doing my thing. Yeah. But I think also that's also a reason why I'm always dragged so much to Mobius, because I feel like he influenced so many people with all his work and all the stuff he's done. And yeah, like I always think like maybe I should do something that is like standing for myself, but I don't want to feed my ego, you know. I want to do something because I like doing something, but the problem is I often also change my mind on things too fast. So yeah. By the way, is my camera crooked today? Looks so crooked on stream. Help me, bro. Need to start my drawing journey. Just start drawing, bro. Start drawing. Just start. And then see what you like and do more. I feel the same. I really can't choose between comics, manga, animation or video games because I really like to do and tell the creative story. I guess if you get a sense, I mean, at some point you have to make a decision, right? At some point you have to decide, okay, what is my medium, what is my instrument, how do I want to tell that story? And I think you also will see what it is that you are really good and maybe not so good in. And then it's your decision to say like, okay, that's gonna be my weapon of choice. And the important part is also that you don't wait too long. You know, don't wait too long. It's better to make a faster decision and just get going than just waiting and waiting and waiting. Of course, you never want to make a emotional decision. You always want to do rational decisions. But this is why sometimes just not thinking is really good. Just don't think about stuff. Just tackle it right away. Hey, HN2913, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Hey Jaya, it's very late. No, how you say that? Related? Happy birthday? No, so happy birthday, Jaya. I hope you had an amazing birthday. Much love goes out. You too, Tornado Master. Have a good day. Thank you for coming by. Start with basic perspective, Mufasa. My birthday was already. You missed it, Jaya. You missed it. Like always. No, I'm just kidding. But it was already. It was 12 days ago. 13 days ago. 12 days ago? Let me see the calendar. Almost 2 weeks ago. Almost. Thank you. What is new, JR? How's life going? What's poppin'? I saw that you. I saw your post. I think I even reacted on your post. Your decision making on focusing on conventions and stuff. I really liked it. I'm a supporter of JR. JR supporter as always. You just clocked out Japan Expo? What do you mean with clocked out? You just came from it or you decide not to go to? Or do you mean Dokumi? Are you done with selling today? Oh, okay. Repeat tomorrow. Where is the Japan Expo? Which one? Is it in France or where is it? Did you have good selling? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Was it good? The one in Paris. Ah, okay. You know what? Let me actually order some food. Mufasa, you're confusing the shit out of me with the stuff you're writing. Sorry, bro. Okay. What are you all doing? Like, chat is so extremely quiet. Are you all drawing? By the way, how many people are we? Maybe the stream could froze. I would have no idea. Hey, how are you? I'm good. Good. Friday evening. Chill time. Gotta work a bit tomorrow. But then that's it for the week. How about you? How was your week? Just testing some ink right now. Right now, only the background is. I can show you the reference. I'm just stealing this silhouette there. I don't know if you can see it. Just some of the shapes, because I always mess up these like type of desert rock formations, even though they're very simple. I don't know. But I'm actually just testing this ink here. It's a carbon ink, some liquid ink. And I really wanted to test that. You know what, let's do some crazy ass birds being here. Maybe there's some dead corpse on that terrain. The rest is just freestyling. Just freestyling. Da, 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 da. Until my food comes. Then is stream over when the food is here. Because then I have to eat. What's the difference? I bought some other ink, some Japanese ink, and I wasn't very satisfied with it. Because I was using, I can show you. So my first liquid ink bag phone died. Yum yum. What did you order? Mexican food. Burrito, chicken burrito. So the first ink I've ever used was this one here from Japan, and it has a really good consistency. It also, I love the smell. It has kind of like this wooden smell, or this burnt wooden smell. And you can also dilute it with water easily, so you can build up a grayscale. And you can also use it as a ink and then color it with watercolor. So this is amazing. This is the shit. And then I bought some other Japanese ones, which was quite expensive actually, but it's so liquid and has such a low amount of pigment in it that when you use water of it, it reacts extreme. So it's kind of like, how you say, it's kind of bleeding, you know? So that's why I was constantly looking for another one. And now, because somebody mentioned, I think it was Peter Han, he mentioned he's using carbon ink. So I bought this carbon ink here. And it's also from Japan. And it's much, much better. And you also can see like, it's so dark in terms of blackness. So it has way more pigment in it. So yeah. So Jaya, what do you do tonight? Just resting? Sleeping? Was it full on the expo? Been getting into traditional art. That's nice. Yeah, get the ink. It's definitely a good one. Fast dry. Yeah, it also dries very fast. But again, I just arrived yesterday, so I just started testing it. But so far, I'm pleased. I am pleased. You don't want to work with markers? You mean for grayscale? Yeah, I see what you mean. Oh fuck, I just messed it up. But anyways, who cares? Jaya, why are you going into more traditional work? Since your digital work is so good. Better and faster, okay. What are you using? What medium? Oh, fuck. Always when I go home, I always look like I robbed a bank. And the ink switch of the money bag just exploded in my hand. Mostly fine liners, ooh, markers, trying to switch to digital. Ah, okay. Are they any good, these Ohu markers? I just saw like tons of, here I am, robbing your time. I just saw a lot of like people making advertising for them, but to a degree where you feel like, are they really like good, or just everybody got paid commission for them? Da, 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 da. Da 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 da. Copica better. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Oh. Whoa. Oh, I was sitting all day here. Sitting all day. Okay, folks. I think that's it for today. My food's gonna arrive very soon. I'm hungry. I don't want to draw anymore. I just want to eat. Thanks everyone for stepping by. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. You got some other drawings to show? What do you mean? Other drawings to show? I have many drawings, but I'm not gonna pick them up and go in here and showing them. I mean, we also drew this today. Right in the beginning. And then I tried to squeeze some brush pen in here, but that didn't work so well. And that's already it. I mean, yeah, 3 little drawings for a 2-hour session, but also a lot of talking today. But I also can feel like how energy is leaving my body right now because I just need some food. I need some food. So, appreciate it. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Thanks for stepping by to our Friday stream. Bon appetit. Yeah, thank you so much. I wish you all a wonderful weekend, and next stream next Friday, as always. And yeah, like, subscribe, follow along. And and we also have mentorship slots open, but only one, I think, right now. One or two, I'm not sure, but we at least have one slot open. Yeah, have a good weekend. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for stepping by. Ciao ciao.